Hello and good morning. Habari za leo. Karibuni sana kwenye session yetu hii tena, ambapo tunakwenda kuzungumzia movements ambazo tunaziona kwenye soko wiki hii, tunazozitegemea kwenye market wiki hii. Na kwa haraka haraka tu, from the last week, of course hapa nimefungua UCAD, but tumekuwa tukifuatilia zaidi, hii tunaita, tumekuwa tukifuatilia zaidi yes tumekuwa tukifuatilia zaidi Euro USD, na tumekuwa tukifanya hivyo kwa makusudi, na ni kwa sababu tulikuwa tunatafuta starting point, wapi tuweze kuanza kwenye kufanya analysis zetu, sehemu ambayo tunaweza tukaanzia ambayo itakuwa ni nyepesi kwetu. Sasa Euro USD ni soko ambalo huwa lina uniqueness fulani, kwamba uniqueness ya Euro USD ni kwamba hii huwa ndo tunaitumia kama standard, kwa maana ya kwamba the pip value calculation huwa inazingatia kwa Euro USD. Pip value calculation ndo inazingatia ile tunaosema one pip, labda lot size ya 0.01 is equivalent to a certain number of pips. Ile huwa inakuwa inazingatiwa zaidi kwa Euro USD, kwa maana those number of pips. So that's why Euro USD kwa namna moja ama nyingine huwa ni pair nzuri standard, na ni pair ambayo inakuwa traded zaidi duniani vile vile. Kwa hiyo it's a good starting point for us. But for today we are going to look not only on Euro USD, but we are also going to look GBP USD, and I will give you a reason why we are going to add on GBP USD. It is because Euro USD and GBP USD are correlated. Nikisema correlated, that means they move similarly, huwa zina mfanano kwenye movement yake. If you find Euro USD buying, then probably you will find also GBP USD buying. Why? Because they both have USD as their base currency. They both have USD, as their quote currency. Zote mbili, USD is a quote currency to them, and Europe and British, they are almost in the same block. Economic wise, they are almost in the same block. So usually they are affected with similar actually their resources, the ways they run their economy is almost similar. So that's why they are correlated in that sense. So if at all USD is strong, then we expect to see Euro USD and the GBP USD selling, and if at all USD is weak, then we expect to see both of these buying. So because they are similar, tutazitumia hizi ili kwa urahisi, kwa maana tutakachokuwa tuna anticipate kwenye Euro USD, basi na kwenye GBP USD pia tutafanya the same. Kwa hiyo tunaanza kufungua portfolio yetu kwa namna hiyo. For our portfolio, we have been looking at Euro USD, so now we are going ahead and adding one more pair in our portfolio. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa tunafuatilia Euro USD pamoja na GBP USD. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa tuna add pairs namna hiyo, na tukiwa na sababu maalum. Sawa, kwa mpaka sasa hivi tuna trade pair ambazo USD yuko kwenye quote currency. Okay, now let's see what we had last week and what we expect to see this week. Sasa last week, kama mla kumbukumbu, tulikuwa tunaisubiri hii short hapa ifanyike. Of course Friday tuliingia tukiwa tuna anticipation ya kwamba we are supposed to sell at the high price, and we were to wait for a stop hunt, and the stop hunt on Friday happened during New York session. That's when the stop hunt happened, and you can see stop hunt ilifanyika juu with the first hour during New York, that is ule muda wa saa 10 mpaka kuelekea 10:30, na baada ya hapo soko lika reverse kwa kuform an engulfing. If you can see here, you can see we had yesterday, if you look you will see kwamba kuna engulfing candle ilitokea baada ya kufika hapa juu kumaliza stop hunt pips 50, kafanya stop hunt pip 50 kutoka kwenye Asian range, amefika hapo juu aka reverse ghafla, aka form an engulfing candle, alafu immediately after the engulfing candle akaform a pin. So this was a lock. So engulfing and the pin is a lock, and you can see here also he has engulfed and pinned. These are locks, showing that he's locking the high. And if he has locked the high, and look at where he did this, I may lock the high right at the previous day's high. So this was a good lock of the high, and he immediately reversed. For those who caught this last week, we were hunting this. Hichi ndicho tulichokuwa tunakihunt wiki iliyopita, na unaweza ukaona huku kote hamna mahali ambapo alitupa that engulfing and the pin zaidi ya hapa. Kwa kama ulikuwa unaiangalia hii stop and ambayo tuliongea ile last time kwamba now we will start doing a stop and high, then we expect a low. So we went to this high, then we had all that confirmation there, and we had this confirmation here. So if you took after this confirmation here, then on Monday this was almost a 70 pip move. Kwa manake by the time siku inaisha on Friday, tulitakiwa uwe 50 pips in kama uli wait for all this confirmation to happen. Now let's look at the closing. Let's look at this week now. What do we expect really fast? In this week you can see that the market closed Friday right here. So this is where Friday closing price was. So then the swing high above Friday was right above here. Yeah, right above there. So let's look at a bigger view in hour one. So looking at hour one, what do we see? So from hour one, I can see that the market had reversed on Friday, closing below the previous day. If you look, let me just refresh this and turn it over. If you look at this, you'll see that the market on Friday, if you look at 1 hour, you see that come Friday last week, the market went and set a new high of the week on Friday. So we had that high there on Friday, right? Then the market, after setting the new high, it went and broke this low here. You can see this was the previous swing low. So the market broke this low. So today we opened with a market that is already on a break going downwards. It's already on a break going downwards, and it gapped. As you can see here, there was a gap. So what was expected for us was that if at all he intends to fill this gap, then he has to fill it as early as possible so that he can gain the momentum to continue with this break. As you can see, there is a break here. This is the first day that he broke to the downside. So you can see since Monday last week, he had been moving upwards. Then come uh, 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 from Thursday, yes, we can see here, from Thursday is when he broke the first low. Thursday, right there, broke that low first day. So this was the first day that he broke the low, although he closed above it, but he had already shown signs of breaking. So Friday he came and closed below it, right? So we're already on a breakdown. So we expect the market to keep pushing down, and you can see this is a rising wedge in a falling market. So what I was expecting for today was a stop and high, then fall. Stop and high, then fall. So you can see the market opened by taking out liquidity low completely from the last week's swing low on Friday. Then the market started pushing upwards. So you can see the market was forming peaks that are pointing upwards. The market was actually forming peaks that are pointing upwards. So that was the first time it made a peak pointing upwards. Then it came, and right now it is making another peak pointing upwards. So we had another peak here, right here. So we had another peak point where he made another swing right here. So we had that those three times that he pushed above. But then for me, I'll count this as two times. Why? Because at this time, this time here is where my 12 candle window. So let me just look at this movement in this other template. So in this template, what I have done is that I have removed all the noises. I have only remained with the session times, and in the session times, I have only highlighted the 12 candle window, the 3 hours during market open in each session. So the three first hours on Asian session from 3 a.m. to 3 hours from 3 a.m. and 3 hours from 10 a.m. and then 3 hours from 3 p.m. So those only those 12 candle windows are the ones that I have highlighted. So these ones here are for the Asian, these ones here are London, and these ones here are New York. So you can see now currently in our current market what is happening. In currently, you can see that the market had entered. I mean, the price has entered by breaking the previous day's low. Then after that, it seemed like it was pushing back upwards above, but it has broken and closed above, coming back into range. So you see, we broke out of the yesterday's low, then we have coming back. So we have broken the low, then we have creeped. You see, he's creeping up, creeping, trending, creeping up. You can see what happened during these 12 candle windows. So during these 12 candle windows, you can see he just consolidated as expected. Then coming during the gap time for the Asian session, he came and took this liquidity low of the. He came and grabbed this low here. You can see this low in this 12 candle window. He has taken this low down there. So then he has come back immediately and closed above. Then he has grabbed that liquidity above right now. So right now we have already taken the. So the initial day high and low, actually the initial range, initial high and initial low of today are these areas here, from this and to this area. So you can see in this rectangle, you can see that the market came and took out the high, so the liquidity in the high. Then after taking out the liquidity high, the market seemed like it has pulled back, but we still are waiting to see what pattern it will form from here. And if we are looking for a stop hunt, we saw from this from the time when the 12 candle window started, we see that the market had already started pushing upwards. First time, second time, then this was the third push upwards. And you can see the third push upwards has already taken the liquidity, the initial high. So it has set a new high. You can see this here, it's a swing. So currently our new highest point of the market is here. And this is only the first hour. And you can see the first hour was the stop and low. This is the first hour. But the first hour shows that we are in a breakout. You see, we broke out above. We are in a breakout above. We have just come back down to retrace. So if at all we do close inside, showing a push downwards, then that would be a confirmation for us to trade some few pips downwards towards this uh, initial day low here. But if at all, so this is we are at the high. So at the high we usually sell. So if at all it gives us a pattern to sell, a good clear pattern to sell during this session at this high, then we will know that we are going to sell to the initial range low, and perhaps we might extend downwards to. We might have a downwards market because we will have broken and retest the low. But if we come back above this yesterday's high, this yesterday's low, and form a pattern going upwards, then we should expect an extension high to the yesterday's high. So what we can do right now the most productive thing we can do right now is to wait and see if this market is going to break upwards or downwards. But we remember that we have our long term thesis. Our long term thesis is that we need that the market is in a breakdown low, so we expect it to go downwards. So from here, if at all he has completed his stop hunt, if at all he has completed the stop hunt, then he will give us a confirmation downwards below the yesterday's low in 15 minutes, and that would be a good trend downwards to the ADR below. So you can grab a good 50 pips. So what we can do now is wait for the market to give us a clear pattern to trade, and a clear pattern to trade during this time, during our market session. If at all it gives us that, then that will be a good time to take an entry. So if you look here, you can see that he might give us a last push. So if we come back to our normal template, you can see that we might expect a last push towards the 200 EMA. And you remember we said that the 200 EMA is a good EMA for quick resets, for resets. So we might expect one more push upwards during this top hunt to this to the 200 EMA. Then if at all he reaches the 200 EMA and gives us a good selling pattern, then that would be a good trade for today. So right now we are still in a stop hunt according to my analysis, and I am looking to go downwards at least 50 to 80 pips downwards if at all I capture this properly, from 75 to 50 pips, of course, 50 to 75 pips below the blueberry. That's what I am anticipating for today. As you can see, we are already in this breakout. If you look at the daily, even the daily suggests that we already are in a breakout. We close in a breakout on Friday, so we expect another day, 2 days at least 2 more days downwards. That is on Monday and Tuesday, and we know that Monday and Tuesday is usually the initial balance. They make the initial balance of the week. So usually it is a stop hunt time where they make the dealer usually makes a stop hunt uh, downward upwards depending on where the real trend is. And if you look at the daily time frame, you can see that the longer time trend here is upwards. So we had a trend, the long time trend according to our one, which suggested now we are going downwards. But if you come to daily, you see that we are in an uptrend, and what is happening now is simply a retracement to look for a certain level, liquidity level downwards, where he can reverse and move upwards. And if you look below where the market is right now, you can see we have the 13 EMA and we have the 50 EMA. So 13 EMA, a pin on 13 EMA and a pin on 50 EMA usually signifies a peak reset for a continuation of the previous trend. According to our trend currently, our long-term trend, we are in a breakout to go upwards. We are buying, but now we are retracing to go and look for a place where we can form a peak reset to go to the second level buy. So we have completed level 1, looking for level 2 upwards. So that is our thesis for Euro USD. Now I will be very fast for GBP USD, because basically what we saw in Euro USD is similar. Because of the correlation, we expect to see something resembling that, only the timing and the momentum, the momentum of the market might be different. So you can see, if we pull up the GBP USD, you have almost a similar shape. We are in a breakout according to the daily to go upwards, and we are now retracing downwards, looking for the 50 or the 13 EMA for a peak reset, right? So we are in a downtrend, and you can see we already had that break downwards the first day downwards, where this was the second day downwards. So today we expect to have the third day downwards to reverse. So we might have a good short today to this point and go upwards. And if you look at the 15 minutes, you can see what is happening. So you can see, according to the GBP USD, we are already having the crossing over is happening. So if at all this candle here forming right now, which will close around 11:30, closes with a red momentum below, closes below this crossover here, then we might be looking to a good entry. We might be looking to a good entry to go downwards. And you can see it is even closing back, if it is even coming back below this quarter point here. We had a quarter point. Okay, yes. So let me just remove this ask line. It's a bit distracting. So let me just put it none. Okay. So you can see currently the market is, it looks like it wants to close below the quarter line here. So if at all we have a close below the quarter line, right now it is an indecision. We are not sure yet because we still have an EMA up here, which usually acts as a good support and resistance area. So it might pull the market coming. You remember we are coming from this support. We might reach here. So we should wait for this candle to close. If at all it closes with this down momentum below this quarter, then that this is our one. That would be a close below this quarter right here in 15 minutes. Then that would be signifying a good short. But also you should be careful with this short because we have not yet touched the liquidity above the resistance point. So it might come downwards and retest here, come above, make a stop hunt. We need a one last stop hunt, as how we did the analysis from the Euro USD. One last push above to reach this EMA here around this area, and if at all he forms a peak around this area, touching the stop hunt box low, then that would be a better trade to take than here. So we might be seeing what we are observing right now might be the one of the shoulders of a head and shoulder pattern. We don't know, but we have to wait and see for the candle close. As usual, we do not predict, we react. So we only anticipate the pattern we are looking for, then we react once the pattern has been formed. So we have that first push, that is the second push. We wait for the third push before we take the market low. That is for also GBP USD. So after saying that, thank you very much, guys, for listening in into this session. Let's meet again during the New York Open, 3 o'clock p.m., where we can talk more about the trades. By the way, we are now able to go live on TikTok too. So for those who feel more convenient following us on TikTok, then I will be sharing the links on my description. So please pass by and follow us on TikTok also, where we can always have these live sessions together on TikTok and on YouTube during these hours. Also, we are about to start a new session for beginners. We will also have an announcement on TikTok for that. So please make sure you follow our socials. Uh, so we'll have the announcement on TikTok for our new live sessions that are going to start very soon for beginners. So I welcome all of you who want to learn this strategy, whether you're a beginner or you are an experienced trader using another strategy and curious enough to want to learn a new strategy. Then I welcome all of you to take this journey with me. Uh, Otherwise, I thank you very much for interacting. Please keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, because these interactions are making us visible to more people, and we get a chance to interact with more traders, and that's how the community is gonna grow. Otherwise, I thank you very much for listening today. Let's meet again during New York Open.